May I most respectfully call to the high table my Lord, the President of the Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Bonan Dongban Menson, CFR. You are most welcome, my Lord. Permit me to invite to the high table my Lord, Honorable Justice U.M. Abaji, CFR. JSC. You are most welcome, my Lord. May I most humbly invite to the high table the chair of this session and person of Honorable Justice J.O. Bada, OFR PJCA Lagos Division. You're most welcome, my Lord. In the same vein, please permit me to invite the discussants. We have two discussants. The first, my Lord, Honorable Justice J.O.K. Oyewole, JCA. You're please invited to the high table. And the last but not the least, my Lord, Honorable Justice D.Z. Senchi, JCA. You're please invited to the high table. Without much ado, I will yield the microphone to the chairman of session, my Lord, Honorable Justice Bada, CFR.
My Lord, the President of the Court of Appeal, I thank your Lordship for giving me the opportunity to chair this occasion. My Lord, Honorable Justice Abaji, Justice of Supreme, we welcome you again to the family court. And I'm very sure we shall benefit a lot from your wealth of experience this afternoon. My Lord, Honorable Justice U.M. Abaji, Justice of Supreme Court, is a life bencher and a former president of the National Association of Nigerian Women Judges of Nigeria, Nigeria Association of Women Judges. His Lordship is a distinguished recipient of prestigious national honor, Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, CFR, a trailblazer in Yobe State Judiciary. His Lordship was the first female judge appointed to the Yobe State High Court. His Lordship is a prominent advocate for the women's rights and a respected leader in promoting the improved welfare of judicial officers. Justice Abaji is a dedicated jurist, a great mentor to the legal profession, and a valued team player. Please join me in welcoming her this afternoon. I'm very sure we shall all benefit from her wealth of experience. Please give her a round of applause. Thank you very much.
My noble lords, my brothers, a protocol was established in the morning, so please allow me as well to join. Okay. Which one is this? Yeah, so allow me to please stand on the protocol already established by the Honorable, the President of the Court of Appeal, my brother, Honorable Justice Monica Demba Mensam, CFR, and all other protocols observed, please. Let me first of all thank the President of the Court of Appeal for inviting me to be part of your annual end-of-year conference to present a paper on the welfare of the judges. I served as chairperson of the Welfare Committee of the Court of Appeal Justices from 2011 to 2018. I pray I have something to offer in this 2024 Court of Appeal Annual End-of-Year Conference. Baba Tunde Awe, when he considered the unfortunate conditions of service and welfare of the judge, stated, and I quote him, "The most challenging thing for the judiciary, in my view, continues to be that they are heavily overworked. As a litigator, I am in court at all levels, almost daily, and I sincerely weep for our judges and the burden they bear daily. It is probably the reason many judges are just pretending to be fine. Many of them suffer huge work-related illnesses, which will be compounded as long as they remain on the job in these circumstances. Just imagine writing 20 to 30 articles daily using longhand. Judges sit in one spot for up to 5 or 6 hours at a stretch under a hot courtroom without air conditioning or sufficient lighting." Decode. The welfare of the judge is not to make a judicial officer a billionaire or a celebrity, but to meaningfully and impactfully rejuvenate and resuscitate the performance of a judge, especially as it concerns his health, occupational proficiency, professional satisfaction, and fulfillment. This decision-making ability, decorum in court, and general well-being. The most important and excruciating area has been taken care of for now, which is financial remuneration and salary increase. However, it is proverbial that no matter how much money a man makes, there are many ways to spend it. Besides, money never made a man happy, nor will it. The more a man has, the more he wants. Instead of filling the vacuum, it makes one. Thus, the welfare of a judge is beyond what only money can do. Now, the harrowing journey for the welfare of the judges. I have, not now. The contest and struggle for the welfare of the judge in Nigeria has been a tortuous and harrowing experience for the Nigerian judicial officers. It seems almost like a mirage that it has catapulted and impelled many into the glue of corruption and the all manner of unethical behaviors by judicial officers in order to make ends meet and to survive. Verily, there is no country in the world that has a corrupt judiciary that will have a good democracy. The judiciary is unique to democracy and it should be treated as such. In fact, it might have been like the race for survival of the fittest. Politicians who have plunged the judiciary into this and as stargazers took advantage of it to dictate to judicial officers what they should do for them, since it is often said that he who pays the piper dictates the tone. For decades, the penal salary and pittance given to judicial officers remained unchanged and which could not have the slightest and minutest effect on their welfare. Comparatively, and to worsen matters, judges at all levels earn paltry sums as salaries compared to that obtained in the other arms of government. It has indeed been like a far cry in a lonely country. The last time we had review of the judges' salaries was in 2008. Since that year, the remuneration of judges, as specified in the certain political, public, and judicial office holders' salaries and allowances, etc. Amendment Act 2008, have remained static until now that the story has changed, barely about 17 years ago. Thankfully, the salaries and allowances of judges in Nigeria have been increased by 300%, which took effect from January 1st, 2024. Now, the indispensability of judges. Apodori, in his book, The Substance of Politics, stated that nothing more nearly touches the citizen than his knowledge that he can rely on the certain, prompt, and impartial administration of justice. The judge, therefore, fulfills a onerous function in the community. The role of the judges or judicial officers in sustaining democracy through the dispensation of justice cannot be downplayed because judges play and wield great power as umpires, mediators, adjudicators. Judges' primary responsibility is to impartially interpret and apply the law to make legal decisions in the judicial arm of government. They are being looked at upon by ordinary men and women for the upholding of justice. They are the last resort and determinant of every election petition. Judges are the bastion of democracy and the last hope of the common man. The nature of a job of a judge is such that it holds the fabric of the society together. Therefore, with these responsibilities, the welfare of the judiciary should be determined to a greater extent to the state in which the nation's democracy would survive. While the legislative and executive arms in Nigeria, which control and spend the financial resources of the country, are among the best remunerated in the world, the judiciary is most poorly considered in terms of welfare. Sebastian Horn, senior advocate of Nigeria, incensed by this anomalous situation, had to sue the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice and the National Judicial Council in a bid to improve the welfare of the judge. Now, areas of concern. There are so many areas of concern for the judges, which I highlighted in the paper. And I think I will mention just a few. And these areas are not limited. The ones I have mentioned are not limited to what is obtained. We have the job demands, the writing culture in court, research, preparing speeches and seminars, writing articles and journals, invitation into different social and religious programs, settling cases outside courtrooms, visit to locals in court, etc., affect the welfare and well-being of the judge. We have the primitiveness and old-fashioned. Over 70 years after independence, we are still retrogressive and primitive in the way proceedings are conducted in our courts. Judges, including the Supreme Court justices, still write in longhand. This adds to the stress and affects their welfare and health. One wonders why our superior courts have not been digitalized and modernized to ease the work of the judges. I heard that the NJC, is doing a program that will enhance the performance of judicial officers by way of digitalization, but actually I'm not conversant with that one yet. We have workloads. Judges' heavy workloads, lengthy and tedious trials, trial disruptions, etc., affect the welfare drastically. Long working hours, either in their chambers or at home, and overabundance of cases add stress to judges, already challenging work, often making them workaholics. We have the time constraint. The circumstances of a matter may be extremely pressing and urgent. For example, attempts to stop an urgent medical procedure, issue motions, ex parte, warrants of arrest, various orders that may be time-bound, pre- and post-election cases have been the source of great stress and workload to judges because of their time-bound nature. There is the emotional demands of their work. Even if a judge has mood swings, he is expected to be impartial and just in his decision. Judges are human and are thus not immune to negative feelings such as anger, sadness, and stress, and all this bear on their welfare. Negative work-home interference, the clashes between stresses and problems at work and home on a regular basis can overstretch the psychology and health of the judge, thereby affecting his welfare and well-being. There is also the issue of their safety and security. Many judges have significant concerns about their security, both in and out of court, as violence and threats against judges have been on the increase. Judges work in an environment that is generally adversarial. We have the workplace conflict or internal interference. They often experience workplace conflict with the staff, colleagues, and legal practitioners, such as poorly prepared and disrespectful counsel and uncooperative defendants. Sometimes litigants who are desperate to win their cases in court meet judges or justices who are senior to the ones hearing their cases to pull ranks on the judges hearing or sitting over their cases. This is frustrating to the judges and affects their welfare. The conscious balance and trauma. Judges must frequently preside over cases that make decisions that they will influence the future of an individual, a family, or sometimes an entire community. Sometimes the destinies and lives of people hang in their hands, like giving death sentences or sending to jail, etc., which may be a burden to their conscience and affect their well-being. Jean Eri Ferrancini, in his article, Conscious Judging and Unconsciousness Judging, resigned as a trial judge in Mexico because his conscience and sense of justice, on the other hand, will not allow him to sentence a 26-year-old man whom he discharged, but the Supreme Court sent him back to his court to sentence him because of applying the law. The welfare of a judge is affected when his conscience keeps pricking him when a sentence or judgment is passed contrary to the truth but according to law. It is said that the conscience is an open wound and only truth can heal it. Religious conflicts. Now, when making rulings, judges must remain impartial, fair, and independent, irrespective of whether they preside over a case where parties act in opposition to their religious values and beliefs. They must act with integrity, courtesy, and professionalism. What are the duties of judges at any level of judiciary when the civil and criminal law they are interpreting and applying conflicts with their personal, physiological, or moral beliefs? The well-being of the judge is affected in cases like this, and he may have sleepless nights. Now, social dryness and disconnection. The social lives of many judges become moribund because after being elevated to the bench, judges regularly lose contacts with their friends, family, and former colleagues. The nature of the job of the judge makes him a social outcast of some sort, and he must watch the cycle of his friends. Thus, his well-being is also affected. And gender issues. Female judges often face gender bias, ostracism, or isolation from their male counterparts and the general public, which invariably affects their welfare and well-being in discharging their judicial functions effectively. And we have also the family responsibilities. Married female judges have primary family responsibilities and must balance their careers and families in ways that male judges never experience. These are unbearable to their welfare. And there is also the physical, spiritual, and social media attacks. Judges have suffered several physical attacks from the public and unsuspecting individuals for various reasons. Some judges were killed by litigants who lost their cases because of their judgments, while others were diabolically killed. It is recorded that some judges' houses were raided without warrants, and so on and so forth. Some judges were denied visas because of some untrue media reports. The cases are many. All this negatively impact on the welfare of judges. Now, poor work conditions and environment. Even with the current improvement in salaries, some judges are still grappling with bad offices, houses, etc. Some do not even have accommodations assigned to them yet after their elevation to the office. Some courts and houses of judges are situated in very noisy and insecure environment, thereby affecting judges' welfare. There is also the political influence, pressure, or manipulation. It is not new that some judges are seen as pawns and puppets in the hands of politicians, which sadly affect their work and decisions. Politicians are said to have hijacked the judiciary, and many are crying for the salvation of the judiciary because of how politicians have used judges to the detriment of the justice system. To be good judges, this affects their welfare. So the demand and stress of knowing new laws, court rules, applying them, and so on, also a judge had to grapple with the stress of knowing these new laws that he has not seen, that he has not been educated on, or new procedures will suffer, and have his welfare affected. The confidence and welfare of a judge is boosted when he knows the laws and applies them. There is also the issue of inadequate resources and support. Judges often face issues of inadequate resources and an unsupportive infrastructure, which negatively affect his productivity. There is also the decision-making issue. Judges engage in decision-making under potentially stressful conditions daily add to their burden and affect their mental and general health and well-being. Now, after stating these stresses or issues or concerns about the judges, I have prepared or offered some recommendations for improved welfare of the judges. The one is automation and digitalization of the courts. Employment of fully automated and controlled information technology, IT, in transcription, translation, and interpretation in courts, and judges will not have the stress to handwriting writing in court sessions. We need to make automation of our courtrooms and court processes a fundamental priority. At this age, there is no reason why judges should continue to take notes in longhand and under great stress and strain. There is no reason why recording devices should not be installed in the courts. The use of computer and word processors are now commonplace things. The old and archaic way of taking down proceedings in longhand has the effect of slowing down the work of the court. They contribute in no small way to the congestion of cases in courts, and inordinate delay leads to a denial of justice. We must know also that artificial intelligence has now taken over the world. Now, I went on to also say, to give as a recommendation training and adoption of information technology and the appointment of more judges, electronic filing services by the courts, better housing facilities and workplace convenience. There is also the financial incentives, adequate and secured remuneration for judicial and non-judicial staff. The mind that administers justice must be free from financial embarrassment, constraints, or troubles. Poor remuneration disturbs the mind and consequently prevents one from discharging one's functions to the best of his ability. Under my leadership as chairperson, Welfare Committee of the Court of Appeal, Justices from 2011 to 2018, we introduced overtime allowances for chamber staff like drivers, secretaries, and orderlies. Not only that, we have also introduced welfare incentive allowance for senior justices who spend 10 years and above. They are recognized for merit award, and they are given incentives and a plug to honor them with that. We have also made improvements on our allowances. I cannot remember the exact figure now, but from 150 to about 500,000. We also increased the airfare so that before it was it 20 or 30 or how much? So now justices are given full welfare airport, ticket to travel to their various destinations. We have also tried to introduce the spouse allowance, but we did not succeed. That they don't want the name, and we are trying to bring out with a better name, not spouse allowance, so that the spouse will not continually be traveling home. The wife at home will come to the station, to the division, and then he will spend 2-3 days or 1 week before. And they can alternate as well. You know, we did some work actually. That is with my team, including my brother, Justice Bada, Justice Saulawa, Anyanwu, and how many of us? 5. Yeah. Each time we are with the president, because whatever we do, we have to go and inform the president that this is what we want, and she will approve. And once she approved, the chief registrar will act on it immediately. Now, even though with the increment of the salary by 300%, if you consider what is obtained today, I think we still have a long way to go. And I believe the president of the court will do something. Welfare is necessary. Welfare is key to adjudication. We cannot be struggling, pretending that we are enjoying. We are justices of the Court of Appeal. We are justices of the Supreme Court. Even though I must confess the Supreme Court is not a bit better than the Court of Appeal. But our judges too in the High Court, even magistrates, including our staff. Now what is obtained in the Supreme Court is practiced, not officially, because of the hardship in the country. Our staff, all of them do not come to the office. From where they live, they spend 3,500, 2,500 daily to transport themselves to the court. And up till now, the minimum wage has not been paid. Even if the minimum wage has been paid, please, where do they stand? I think our heads of court, my Lord, the President of the Court of Appeal, I know you are trying your best. I have seen beautiful infrastructural developments in the court. Without money, that cannot be done. And I still believe when it comes to welfare of judges, please consider them. They need it. The work now, we don't know, it's becoming too much. Even to all of us, we are complaining. So with this little welfare by our side, this monetary something, or the end of year, what we do is we buy gifts to all the justices of the court. They will have an allowance to everybody, not only to the PJs. Before it was meant for the PJs only, but now it's been given to every justice of the court at the end of year. And that thing, no matter how small, when you take it home, your wife will be happy. We thank you. So, the husband too. The husband is brought home because of him. Is he standard promotion? So there's also the problem of that should be considered standard promotion and elevation system. Judges' welfare and well-being are affected where the promotion system is indeterminable and subject to favoritism. Some judges have suffered frustration, depression, high blood pressure, and sudden death because they were denied well-deserved promotions and elevations. The new rules set by the heads of courts for considering judges for elevation other than seniority because they want to favor their candidates have been a bane to the welfare and many judges who deserved promotion or elevation but were denied. It was gathered that the late Honorable Justice Ike of the then Port Harcourt Division, who was amongst the most qualified justices for promotion, died suddenly after a phone call that informed him of not making the list of the elevated justices to the Supreme Court. You know of many other cases like that. Transparent reward for both judges and staff based on integrity, incorruptibility, punctuality, knowledge of the law, etc. That is why we are talking about the merit awards and gifts for deserving justices and staff at some periods of the year be organized. More training and workshops. This should be made a part of the system and budget of the judiciary to make the judges relish and enjoy their profession on an up-to-date basis. I know the NJI is organizing programs worldwide for senior justices of this, for the justices of this court and the Supreme Court. At least you are entitled to attend at least one. That is international program. Graciously, the Supreme Court granted us 2 choices. So you can travel, and your welfare, your medicals ought to be paid promptly. Promptly. As soon as you are going on vacation now, this is a short break, quite okay for Christmas, but during the long vacation, you may wish to travel wherever you want to go for your health, so that your health system can be checked. Before, it was 2 million that was given to us, but it was increased. I cannot remember the figure now. And with a full air ticket and your ESTA card. So when you are given this, at least it will also soothe your mind that at least, thank God, they are taking care of me. And even before, when I came to this court, they used to provide us with a kit, medical checkup, high blood pressure, sugar, with some